Hello, my name is Kevin Burleson. I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner and the founder of Radiant Ayurveda Wellness. Welcome to this really brief introduction to Ayurveda, also known as the science of life. Ayurveda is an ancient holistic system of medicine that originated in India over 3,000 years ago, but its wisdom is more relevant than ever today. With the rise of natural medicine and alternative medicine, Ayurveda is one of the oldest systems, so it brings back a lot of wisdom coming back from the past. It's all about understanding the unique nature of your body, mind, and spirit, and how to live in harmony with the world around you. So today we'll go over some origins of Ayurveda as well as some basic theory, and we'll also talk about what it is to expect when receiving an Ayurveda consultation. Before we get started, I wanted to go into my background with Ayurveda and what inspired me to become a practitioner. So I have about 10 years of Ayurvedic experience and about 16 years of yoga experience under my belt. Yoga and Ayurveda are sister sciences, so I started learning about Ayurveda pretty early on. I was 16 years old, so I didn't really pay that much attention to it. It wasn't until my 20s when I really started to look into the benefits of Ayurveda. And then I recently graduated with my master's degree in Ayurveda Integrative Medicine from Maharishi International University. During this degree, we went down really deep when it came to Ayurvedic theory, and we also learned an array of different types of disorders and how they are connected to Ayurveda, and what we can do with Ayurvedic medicine to help promote healing when it comes to these disorders. So this was all the way from musculoskeletal disorders all the way to neurological disorders. So a wider range of things that Ayurveda can really help with. And what drew me to Ayurveda, so I grew up with a lot of health issues, and not only with those health issues, I noticed a lot of issues with side effects when it came to medication. So an example is I had really bad cystic acne growing up. Medications, topical creams that were prescribed to me always were too extreme with my sensitive skin, and so I could never take them without having terrible pain and inflammation. And so Ayurveda really helped me clear my skin, not only get away from those side effects, but also just clear my skin altogether. Another thing I had very similar is eczema, same story there. I've also lost about 100 pounds going through the Ayurvedic diet. And so I have noticed that I have seen really great gradual weight loss that's at a healthy rate, and I've been able to keep the weight off using Ayurveda. So I've seen so many benefits. I see benefits every single day with Ayurveda. I get inspired every single time I learn something, I read something, I experience something with my practices. So it's something that I've now become my passion to bring to a community, bring to my family, bring to friends, to anyone who's looking for a natural solution to their health. Okay, let's get into the origins of Ayurveda. It comes from Sanskrit, with Ayus meaning life and Veda meaning knowledge, so the knowledge of life. It originates back to the Himalayan region about 1500 BC, with the texts that we have found being around 600 BC. These were developed by sages through ancient schools like Charaka and Atreya, and the texts that they've created contain foundational knowledge of herbs, diet, and balance, well-being. The main goals of Ayurveda is to maintain balance in healthy individuals and address root cause of disease. So two different types of things: how to maintain health and how to get yourself back to a healthy state. Let's jump into one of the main principles of Ayurveda, which are doshas. So there are 3 doshas, and they are formed by the 5 elements, or in Sanskrit, the Mahabhutas. So we have Vata, which is space and air combined. We have Pitta, which is fire and water combined. And we have Kapha, which is earth and water combined. So with these doshas, 2 elements are combining with each other or working with each other, and it's creating some sort of process throughout the physiology. When the doshas are balanced within the body, it maintains health, while imbalance can cause disturbance and even lead to disease. There is something called pulse reading or Nadi Vigyan, where experienced practitioners, we learn how to read these doshas within the pulse. When they flow properly, we can feel it. Digestion is strong and vital, but we can also feel when there is an imbalance. If we feel something's off, we can identify which dosha might be imbalanced or what's going on, and we can see what's happening with those dosha systems within the body. Each dosha is responsible for different types of processes within the physiology, so it's really good to understand what happens when they're balanced as well as when imbalance does occur. So Vata is space and air elements. They're responsible for the movement and transportation. So when Vata is nice and balanced, you're seeing good energy, good focus, you're seeing regular digestion. If you're seeing imbalance with Vata, you could see anxiety, you could see extra stress, you could also see irregular digestion. It can also cause like dry skin, dry hair, and things like that, because space and air are both drying elements. If we have too much Vata within our system or it's irregular, we can see it drying our system up. Okay, Pitta is fire and water, so this is all the transformation and metabolism within the physiology. So if we see good Pitta, we're seeing nice, clear skin, we are seeing really good metabolism, we're seeing good moods. However, if we see irregularity, we could see blemishes, we could see eczema, we can also see someone deal with irritation or aggravation, as well as poor metabolism. So that can all be from Pitta. If we think about Pitta, Pitta is hot. So if we have too much heat, it can cause inflammation. It can cause a lot of things that excess heat can cause. And then Kapha, these are the elements of water and earth. This is all about the structure and lubrication within the system. So good Kapha means good muscle tone. It means good mucus production. It means good lubrication or oiliness within the body. However, excess Kapha, you think about excess liquid, excess mucus. A lot of respiratory issues can cause from excess Kapha, even asthma. It can also cause a lot of weight gain and things like that. So with these three doshas, if you think about what they really are, Vata being drying and moving, Pitta being fire and heat, and then Kapha being structure and lubrication. If you think, if we have too little of something, what can cause that? If we have too much of something, what can cause that? This is type of the theory that Ayurveda goes into. We're looking at these doshas and we're seeing what's going on with these and how is it affecting the physiology. So the question here is, okay, we have doshas, how do we balance them? How do we understand what to do when one is too high, too low, in its wrong place, everything like that? Well, here is a mini course on the path to optimal health when it comes to that. So the first thing that we do is live Ayurvedically. So following our healthy routines, eat for your dosha. Each person naturally has a predominance to a specific dosha. One of them could be Vata Pitta are the two doshas you align with, Pitta Kapha. I'm personally Pitta Kapha, Kapha Pitta, anything like that. So understanding what foods are best for the doshas within your system. Choosing sattvic activity. Sattvic means balancing, so very good. Balancing, stress relieving, just good for a healthy mind and body. And adopting Rasayana behaviors. Rasayana means revitalizing, so just good behaviors all around when it comes to mental, when it comes to physical, spiritual, all that good stuff. So if you live this way, this tends to lead towards balanced doshas, where the body has a balance between movements, transformation, and structure, allowing a natural flow to take place within the entire body. This in turn helps create a good, healthy digestive fire, which is Agni. Agni is another predominant subject when it comes to Ayurveda. Digestion is everything. Digestion creates your whole body. We grow up, we eat, we digest that food, it creates our body for our future. So with a healthy Agni is healthy life. So having balanced doshas helps us create that good, healthy digestive fire or Agni. The properly digest all food. It can be properly absorbed. And then ama, which is undigested food, which I'll talk about a little bit later, is avoided. This in turn leads to dhatu nourishment. Dhatus are the tissues in Ayurveda. So the tissues that we look primarily at are plasma, blood, muscle, fat, bone marrow, and reproductive tissue. Digestion basically comes in and nourishes all of these tissues to help create our structure for a healthy body. So if we have balanced doshas, we have good Agni that creates good nourishment for all of our tissues or dhatus. And this in turn leads to optimal health or ojas. Ojas in Ayurveda is this essence of vitality in the system. Once we have perfect digestion, good doshas, good dhatu nourishment, this creates this vitality or ojas within the system. So this little path Living healthily creates balance within the system. Balance within the system creates great digestion. Great digestion nourishes good tissues, and having good tissues overall creates optimal health. So that is a very, very broad version of what we're looking at in Ayurveda. Okay, I did mention Ama, so I wanted to go through what exactly Ama is through the Ayurvedic lens. So what it is, we consider this undigested food particles, some call it toxins. Basically, when your digestifier Agni is not great and you eat a lot of food, eat food that's not compatible with your body for whatever reason, the body cannot absorb it properly. So it can lead some remnants or toxins, or we just call it Ama in Ayurveda. It can be located in the body when it doesn't get properly digested, or it can also lead towards Ama in the mind. Too much stress, not enough processing going in the brain can also lead to mental Ama. So physical, mental causes are how it happens. Food that's like dry, cold, polluted, or if you have worry, grief, improper sleep, or anything like that, this can all lead to some sort of Ama within the system. So why it happens, if our Agni is not great, it can happen. Having some stress can also create that. Stress causes a lot of issues within the body. And then a poor diet. If we're having bad diet, our body's not digesting it well, it's going to cause Ama. So how do we remove Ama? We call it Amapachana in Ayurveda. It's purification protocols. What this does, it prioritizes a lighter diet, so a little bit less food, less heavy food, so it's easily digestible based on your dosha, with purifying herbs that can help remove it, as well as ignite digestion. So we're really attacking digestion to help the body basically burn all of that Ama out of the system to create a good pathway for digestion. Okay, now that we have gone through the basics of Ayurveda, let's go through what treatment and a consultation looks like with a practitioner. So the first thing that we do is our initial intake interview. Here is where we discuss your goals with the Ayurvedic consultation, as well as we identify your predominant doshas, or it's called prakriti in Ayurveda. So these are the doshas that you align with the most. Like I said, for me, I align with Pitta and Kapha the most based on just my physical structure, as well as my digestion, how I tolerate the weather. Everyone has their own specific prakriti, and that's when we determine it. That helps us determine how your body finds balance. In there, we're going to discuss the potential imbalances that are happening with the doshas. This is called Vikriti. So if our main concerns, we're dealing with digestive issues, we're dealing with skin issues, things like that, we can kind of look at, okay, how are the doshas being affected by imbalance, and why is it causing this? So we're kind of using doshas as that root cause of why this manifestation is occurring. All right, we find these dosha imbalances or Vikriti through the interview, talking about diet, talking about routine, seeing what might be causing these things to happen, as well as certain symptoms like dry skin, dry hair, acne, weight gain, things like that. We also do Nadi Vigyan, which is the pulse reading, which we can detect the dosha imbalances within the body. So it is a two-pronged approach here. We look at what we're feeling with the pulse reading, as well as understanding what's going on based off what you as a client says. All right, we discussed Ama earlier. So if Ama is present here, this is the priority. We want to remove this before any other treatment takes place. This Ama is causing a lot of imbalance, so we want to clear that so we can work on any dosha imbalance first. A lot of people with these consultations, once they get their Ama clear, they're seeing a lot of symptoms already go away. So it's almost like, oh, our first step is already done. So we want to make sure we're going to get rid of Ama and help enlighten Agni within the system before we do anything else. If Ama is removed or not present when we do Nadi Vigyan or our interview, we can start with doshas if we feel that those are imbalanced, and those can be balanced through herbs, diet, lifestyle, and special Ayurvedic treatments as well. All right, Ayurveda is also great at detecting potential disease. So what's beautiful about these Ayurvedic texts is that a lot of these diseases that we know today can be dated back to these texts, and they are explained through the doshas. So for example, osteoarthritis Osteoarthritis in Ayurveda is a Vata disorder. What happens is there's too much Vata in the system, and the Vata has localized in the bones, in the joints, and has helped deplete that liquidity or that lubrication within the joints, causing things to be painful and dry and brittle. So we can see that Vata is causing this. So if we're feeling like there's a big Vata imbalance and someone is saying, oh, I'm feeling a lot of joint pain, I'm feeling a lot of bone pain, everything really hurts, we can say, okay, there may be a potential for arthritis, osteoarthritis, and that's when us as Ayurvedic practitioners would recommend our clients go see a doctor to confirm or see what their recommendation is there. So Ayurveda is really good at kind of taking some imbalances and pointing it to a potential of disease in the future or something that may be not even diagnosed yet. Again, we always want to make sure that we're getting the recommendations or the opinion of a medical professional. I don't treat or cure any diseases. I leave that for doctors. I'm here to help with the symptoms and help with everything around it. However, doing these dosha identifiers is really good at maybe being a proactive approach to finding that disease with Western medicine. All right, what can Ayurveda help with? I have seen a lot of friends and family and myself, people in my cohort with my degree, have had so many different benefits. However, these are the big 6 that I've really noticed that Ayurveda helps out drastically. So we have digestion disorders, any type of sleep issues, allergies, this is seasonal allergies or even some food sensitivities, stress, anxiety, immunity, so your immune system really benefits from it, as well as metabolism and even more. So we really look at these ones. I have noticed all 6 of these benefits in myself after adopting an Ayurvedic lifestyle, and I've had a lot of friends and family see at least some sort of benefit with one of these topics, as well as other ones. I've seen hormonal issues get better. I've seen bone and joint issues get better. So it is almost countless what we see Ayurveda can help with when it comes to optimal health. All right, so I, at this point of learning about Ayurveda, was very overwhelmed. There's a lot to think about, a lot that goes into it. So these are the 4 main quick tips that I would recommend to anyone if you're just starting off with Ayurveda and want something fairly easy to remember. So our 4 that we have, so rise with the sun. So waking up with 6 a.m., this aligns with your nature's rhythm and enhances mental clarity. So the pre-dawn hours are really wonderful to wake up, to get the mind ready. And so if you wake up before 6 a.m., it could be 5:45, it could be 5:50, but try to wake up a little bit before 6 a.m. and that really helps your body kind of kick it into high gear when it comes to energy. If you're a meditator, I always recommend meditation. This is especially powerful during those times. And then eating warm, freshly cooked meals. This is better for digestion. Anything that is freshly cooked, that is warm, is going to be very easily digestible for Agni, for your system, if it's the right foods. So when you're eating, we want to favor warm cooked foods over cold, raw options. This one can be hard to adopt, but the more that we do, the easier your digestive system can digest all of that, assimilate all the nutrients, get that to your tissues, and create that optimal health. Our third topic here is make lunch your largest meal. So your digestive fire or your Agni is strongest at noon. If you think about it, that is usually like the hottest time of the day. So if everything is connected, your digestive fire is going to be the hottest around that time. So eating your biggest meal at this time, it supports better digestion, energy, and balance throughout the day. If you think about it, if we're having a tiny little lunch and then a large dinner, you're not going to have great sleep too, because your body's too busy digesting all of that food. And if we have a small lunch, that's why we sometimes run into that 3 p.m., 4 p.m. slump, is because maybe we didn't even eat enough to have enough energy. So if anything, I recommend trying to switch that heaviest meal to lunch. It might take a while to get used to, but see if you feel a difference with energy when it comes to that. And our last, I would say, pretty provocative one is sipping warm water throughout the day. So cold beverages, as delightful and refreshing they are, they can sometimes lead to dimming your digestive fire because it's so cold, especially if you're having a lot of cold water before or after a meal. And so what I would recommend to you is replacing those cold beverages with room temperature, even slightly warm water. And this can support digestion and natural detoxification processes instead of slowing everything down. So with these 4 tips, this is already turning into that Ayurvedic lifestyle. If anything that I recommend through Ayurveda, these are the main 4 that I see the most benefits and I see the most success with. And that's Ayurveda 101. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I hope you learned something new about Ayurveda or learned about Ayurveda for the first time. If you are interested for more information, I do offer individualized consultations as well as Ayurvedic yoga and some bundles over at radiantawi.com. You can look for more information and book a consultation there. If you'd like some more Ayurvedic knowledge throughout your month, I also do have a Patreon where I'll be posting monthly recipes, seasonal wellness updates, and recommendations, as well as tiers where I'm basically a concierge, where any Ayurvedic questions I'm happy to answer for you. Basically a space where I can post what I've learned and good things throughout the year. So that's over at patreon.com/radiantaz. Or if you just have any general questions, feel free to email me at radiantawi@gmail.com and I'll be happy to answer that. Thank you so much again for watching this, and I hope that your Ayurvedic journey either starts today or you can look forward to adding these extra tips to your lifestyle to get some good health benefits from this. So thank you and have a great rest of your day.